Good evening and welcome to the Garfield Heights City School District Special Board Meeting, August 14th, 2023. I'll call the meeting to order. Could I get roll call, please?
Mr. Isom? Here. Ms. King?
Here.
Ms. Morrison?
Here.
Ms. Thomas? Mrs. Daniels?
Thank you. Can I get a motion to adopt this evening's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Isom, that was moved by Ms. Morrison and second by Mr. Isom. Could I get roll call, please?
Ms. Morrison?
Yes.
Mr. Isom?
Yes.
Ms. King?
Yes. All right, Dr. Reynolds, I will turn it over to you for presentations.
Thank you. As according to what we were working to remain consistent with our goals for the district, the strategic plan, we wanted to ensure that we were addressing the needs of the middle school. And tonight we have Scott Clifford from TDA to talk about some options that we have in order to address the heating issue, and also some of the other areas of the middle school to ensure that we are responding to the needs of our students. Mr. Clifford.
So, I'm Scott Clifford with TDA. Dr. Reynolds invited me here today just to give you an update. So we can start with what we've done this summer. So we've gone through, we're replacing the air conditioning ventilation system in your gym area and in your band area. Well, we're adding AC there. There was no AC before, but we're also upgrading all your heating and your electrical. There's lighting going on in there. We're replacing all the windows, so there's improved exterior to the building, so you're losing less heat through windows and doors and stuff like that. And that's going along really well. We're under budget. We're on time to meet the deadline for the money that needs to be spent. This is all ESSER funded. This is not district money. It's from the federal government that becomes district money. But it's going really well. We're almost done. Doing some punch lists soon and should be practically ready for the school year. In all intent and purpose, it'll be ready for the school year. There'll be some things that we have to iron out, but that can be done while the kids are in school, so it'll be ready for them to get back. Then for next year, we started looking at the rest of the school building. So we have ESSER funding for that too, the government funds, federal government funding. And we're looking at finishing up the rest of the building with HVAC, heating, air conditioning, and ventilation. At least replacing the classrooms. We have a few options on the board. Replacing the classrooms, adding at least units in each classroom, or going and doing an all-out replacement of everything. And that's kind of where we're looking at, where we're going to be moving to, whatever makes sense for the district financially and most productive with these funds we're getting from the federal government. We're going to look at doing the windows possibly. That's one of the options. Maybe doing lighting there. That's less high on the priority list as getting windows done and doing the HVAC. So those are the main things we're going to be looking at doing. Windows and doors, kind of getting that building more tight, more secured. So those are the two main focuses. We have a few other items on that list. Probably replacing boilers, getting it all up to more modern standards. So that would be for the summer of 2024. We're going to start working on that now because we got to get it out as soon as we can because of long lead items, stuff like that. So that's where we're looking for those projects. And then I know they said for the master plan for the district, we've started discussing anything that might be needing to happen in the next 5 years because you have to look at roofing. That's another one at the middle school that has to happen. But you got to look at your other buildings too, see how that all fits in with your maintenance funds and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next months coming up to kind of see what needs to come next after we get done with next summer. So, yeah. Any questions about this?
From the board? My biggest question is, what's the price tag on the work that is outlined for 2024?
Right now, oh, and then there was one other thing I missed. We are doing a chiller at the middle, or at Maple Leaf, which is one that's going bad. So you want to get ahead of that, don't let it die, and then have to replace it in an emergency situation. So that's also in 2024. The total project cost for that, that'd be all including all fees and associated costs, would be at $200,000 for the middle Maple Leaf. And we're looking at about $11 million for the complete HVAC, all the electrical upgrades you would need to include with that HVAC, and then the window replacement too, which is about $1 million of that. It would be the largest quantity is updating your HVAC system so that your kids can be more comfortable throughout the school year, so that you don't have those months where they're less focused because they're hot and all that kind of stuff.
Just a lot of money, and
Yeah.
really was hoping to get a new middle school.
Yeah, understood.
And still hope to get a new middle school down the road.
The good thing about this does give you your time to try and go back out to the community and look at this. You just have this money that is coming from the federal government right now. So it's not coming from the community directly, it's coming from a larger pot of money. So it's not affecting the community as directly. I mean, you'll get the benefits of it, but without having to come out of pocket. So.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Well, this is what we're trying to do to respond to the needs of the building. We've all been in that building, and it's a much older building that needs to be, we need a new building. Let's just get right to the point. We need a new building. And because we were not successful in being able to communicate that need, because it is a clear need, we're trying to develop some alternatives and creating a master facilities plan and also a spending cycle so that everything that we're looking at throughout the district, outside of the building of a new middle school, we're trying to make sure that everything doesn't fall on the district all at once. That's something that we have sat down and just had conversations about, just to make sure that we are a little more responsive and more responsible when it comes to being proactive in understanding the needs of the buildings and understanding the needs of the facilities. But we need to do something to address the building itself. And that's where we need to come to you and have discussion to determine whether what type of time do we need to have in between going back to the ballot and the investment on the building to see if it makes sense to do, to wait, or it makes sense to go ahead and do these things and then show the fact that the things that we're doing in the district is working, to have those conversations with the community once again. But we need to do something, and we need to at least start the conversation now, and that's why it was important that he came in to really discuss, what our options could be.
Total investment, if the board chooses to put $11 million through ESSER funds into the middle school, at the conclusion of the federal money would be about $13.5 million investment into the middle school alone. About
Because that includes what was done this year.
what's being finished now, it's about 30% of a bond cost for a building, and we're not getting a new building. That's the tough question. So that's what we're gonna hear about next month when we talk to our legal team about the next steps from the levy schedule and everything. But we do have some options, we don't have too much time with the ESSER money, because like Scott said, if we're gonna do something, we have to do it now. We have to get the lead time, we gotta really push to get that done. Some of the things like the boilers, the Maple Leaf chiller, those are things we can do, get done, knock it off the facilities plan, will be good for years to come. But the massive investment in the middle school, down to it, the district needs a new middle school, just plain and simple. Like, we can fix the HC, we can fix the roof, we can fix the lighting, but the building's still old, and it needs to be, we do need to address that, and that's what the community outlined, and it's number 4 on the strategic plan. So that's the numbers to think about with this as well.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Flip. for sharing what has happened over the past, this past summer at our middle school, and giving us a look into what could happen next summer to really bring our middle school into the 90s, because I won't even say the 2000s,
Yeah.
but to give it a little bit of a lift that will make it more enjoyable to be there for both our students and our staff. So thank you. All right. Tentative agenda review. Were there any questions on the tentative board meeting for next week, 21st?
Yes, I had a couple questions.
Yes, ma'am.
A couple questions on the contracts.
Yes.
How many children are we looking at for transportation from Almighty Transportation?
I can check and get those numbers for you. I'm not entirely sure what the numbers are.
Okay,
Is there an idea that the numbers are a little excessive with the transportation, or is there anything?
no, I was just wondering how many we thought would need that transportation
Okay.
at that, the cost.
Yes, ma'am.
And then using EDU, which is the intervention specialist, will each, not classroom, but will they be in the classroom? So it's not gonna be like a rotating where, will they be assigned to certain spots? So it's not like, my son's on an IEP, so he's not gonna get a different intervention specialist every day, right?
No,
Okay.
That is not gonna be the case there.
Okay,
They'll have an assigned intervention specialist who will also have a caseload as well.
okay,
So no, there's no rotation schedule on that.
okay. I just wanna make sure, cause that's not good for children.
Yeah.
And there was a Wilson training, but there was no information on that.
Wilson is a reading
Okay.
program. It's consistent with what we're doing as a district, and several other districts have also, and this is something that's not really new to our district. We're just making sure that we continue to train some of our new staff members on Wilson.
All right,
Yep.
thank you so much for those answers.
Not a problem at all. And I will find out how many students are being served by Almighty as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions on next week's agenda? Is there anything, Dr. Wilson or Mr. Oko, that you want to highlight for us? Well, one thing I do want to make a comment about, and maybe Dr. Reynolds, you were gonna talk about this. I know that we are in the process of hiring, so you may see a list of teachers or staff today. It may look different by next Monday, because we are still in the process of hiring. So Ms. Pettigrew has been keeping me in the loop as she's adding people on there, so you may see a different list. So I don't want anybody to think they're trying to slide people in, but we are continuing to hire, so you may see additional names by next Monday.
Yes, and they, as in HR department, as well as our recruitment and retention team, have been working diligently to identify candidates. And we've also conducted a job fair as well, and we had a huge turnout at the job fair. We started posting some things on social media showing, a lot of our new folks who decided to grow with Garfield. We're very excited about them. We had an opportunity to meet a lot of the people that we were recruiting, to meet them today. We are in a really good space. We are still looking for a few positions. but we are in a really good place right now that will allow us to push forward and remain consistent with our academic plan. So we're in a good place right now. Are we perfectly 100%? We're not. We're not. As most districts are, we're still looking in certain areas. Certain areas are a little more difficult to fill. We're looking at special ed and some math positions as well. But in general, we've done a really, really good job at responding to the needs of our buildings, and we're in a good place.
Question about the job fair. Because of its success, are we looking at potentially doing a job fair in February, March of next year?
So some of the things that we've implemented this year are things that will be a staple of what we're going to be trying to do for the up and coming years. We usually did not have job fairs as a district, but that is something that I saw as an important part of what we need to do to continue to recruit viable candidates. And yes, we will continue to do that consistently. We're also going to be continuing to go out to different colleges and universities and just making sure that we create a pipeline of candidates who are interested in being a part of this growth and these things that we're doing as a district and the improvements that we put in place. And we've made some really, really good progress in developing plans to make sure this is consistently done every single year. So yes, we're going to continue to do the job fairs. We're going to continue to aggressively go and build relationships with colleges and universities and go where our candidates are and make ourselves available for those who are just interested in knowing more about our school district. You'll see a lot more posts on social media, whether we're talking about just recruiting or even just talking about getting information about the great things that are happening in the classrooms as well. So the things that we are doing are more intentional this year, and you'll see evidence of that through our use of social media, through our use of newsletters, through our use of just communicating with our parents as well. And we have an up-and-coming community event coming up on Thursday of this week from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That's a nice little plug right there. 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, where we're inviting the community to come and meet with us, ask questions, have a good time. And this is our second annual kickoff. Last year we had a lot of people to show up, and we're anticipating the same this year. We have a lot of our partners, including Marymount, who's going to be out there, and our transportation department, and a lot of other folks who want to be a part of what we're doing in the school district. So we're very excited. So there are a lot of things that are happening that includes the recruiting piece, but just getting the word out and who we are as a district and the things that we intend to do to ensure the outcomes are favorable for our students.
Looking forward to the second annual
Yes.
back-to-school kickoff.
Yes.
All right, are there any other questions about the tentative agenda for our board meeting next week? All right, we'll move on to 4.1, certified staff. Can I get a motion to, for 4.1, certified staff, move and waive?
So moved.
All right, that was moved by Ms. Morrison and second by Mr. Isom. Could I get roll call, please?
Ms. Morrison?
Yes.
Mr. Isom?
Yes.
Ms. King?
Yes. Now I'd like to entertain a motion to enter into executive session at 6:31 for the discussion of evaluations of the superintendent and treasurer.
So moved.
Second.
That was moved by Ms. Morrison and second by Mr. Isom. Can I get roll call, please?
Ms. Morrison?
Yes.
Mr. Isom?
Yes.
Ms. King?
Yes. We are now in executive session.